Dragon Ball. I am One Punch Man. Chapter 36. Grilled Squid. My favorite. At this time, Chi-Yu snatched the plate, poured all the takoyaki into his mouth, and started to chew. That's right. I was in a hurry to go out this morning and didn't eat breakfast. Thank you for the takoyaki. By the way, you haven't told me yet, where is Bulma? HMPH. Beerus was surprisingly angry. Dark purple flames were burning all over him, and he was about to explode completely. Private Marseille. Vegeta hurriedly bowed 90 degrees to Beerus, and then yelled at Chi-Yu, Bulma is greeting guests on the deck. Get out of here. Vegeta hurriedly sent Chi-Yu away. If he was allowed to stay here again, Beerus would probably explode in anger. Once Beerus got angry, the earth would be destroyed. Holding a fan, Vegeta fanned Beerus vigorously while inviting him to sit down in the food area. After eating 2 pieces of takoyaki, Beerus finally calmed down. At this time, another sweet smell wafted from the next table. Following the smell, a pink fat man is tasting a jelly-like food. This fat man is the kind Fat Buu. After marrying Son Goku, Satan successfully integrated into this circle and became Bulma's friend. And he also became good friends with the kind Majin Buu. Now Fat Buu only listens to him. Today is Bulma's birthday, so he brought Majin Buu with him. Beerus pointed to something on Buu's table, and asked Vegeta, what's that? Vegeta said, that's panna cotta. Beerus stood up, walked in front of Fat Buu with Whis, and said, the pudding you are eating, can you give me one? Ha, of course. Although Satan is a liar, he is generally kind and generous. A few days ago, he also gave Son Goku all the 100 million Savior Awards he won. It's only 2 puddings, Satan is not stingy. But Majin Buu was not very happy, he squinted his eyes and pouted, and refused angrily. This is my pudding, I won't give it to you. Angel Whis said, my friend, we are guests from afar, and we have never eaten such food before, so please share it with us too. Satan also smoothed things over and said, anyway, you bought all the puddings, there are only 2 missing. And the people on this cruise ship are all our friends. Seeing that everyone wanted to call out pudding, Fat Buu became anxious. He stuck out his long tongue and smeared all over the pudding with his saliva at an extremely fast speed. Vegeta tried to stop it, but it was too late. If I don't give it to you, I just won't give it to you. You ugly dog-headed monster, I just won't give you pudding. The dog's head is ugly, the dog's head is an alien. Majin Buu made all kinds of grimaces while taunting Beerus. Finally, Beerus could no longer contain his anger and knocked Majin Buu from the cruise ship into the sea with one punch. The people on this planet are really hateful. I'm going to destroy this place. Vegeta knelt down on the ground, begging for mercy repeatedly, Master Beerus, please calm down. Please calm down. Even Son Goku in Super Saiyan's 3 states couldn't make 2 moves in front of Beerus. Even if he called Chi-Yu, the big bald devil, it would be just a few extra punches from Beerus. Beerus sleeps most of the time, sometimes for tens of thousands of years. Most people probably won't see him in their lifetimes, as lifespans are often shorter than a single nap of Beerus. But for eons, the entire universe has not forgotten the existence of Beerus. The myths and stories about him spread among countless planets and civilizations. In any case, Beerus is a symbol of invincibility, absolutely invincible. Otherwise, with Vegeta's pride, it is absolutely impossible to endure like this. It's too late. Beerus's body slowly rose into the sky. I'm going to destroy the whole earth now. Majin Buu is angry. There was a huge wave on the sea surface, and Majin Buu, who was punched into the sea, broke through the water and rushed towards Beerus in the sky. Majin Buu is very powerful, but he is no match for Beerus. Beerus grabbed Majin Buu's fist, smashed Buu's huge body into several pieces, and smashed into the deck of the cruise ship. The battle starts instantly. On the 18th, Piccolo, Tien Shinhan, Jiaozi and others took off one after another and began to wait and see from the sidelines. None of them were fools, and with their strength, they couldn't even touch a hair of Beerus. Because they were as strong as Majin Buu, they were all punched away by Beerus. They couldn't do this kind of strength. But Majin Buu refused to let go, and continued to fly out of the deck and rushed towards Beerus. Vegeta yelled, "Stop it! If you make Master Beerus angry like this, the earth will be destroyed." Majin Buu didn't listen to anyone, and continued to attack Beerus desperately. At this moment, Beerus opened his eyes. A powerful destructive aura rippling around him. "You guys, completely pissed me off." Rumble. A destructive breath erupted from Beerus. This aura alone swept away all the warriors in the audience, and everyone's flying technique failed instantly. Unable to support their own floating, they all fell to the ground one after another. Tien Shinhan got up from the ground with a horrified expression on his face. What kind of power is this? Before we touched him, we were all injured like this. Piccolo said, Tiantian, do you know that there is such an existence in the universe? Tiantian is the god of the earth. As a god, he certainly knows a lot more than the common people. Hearing Piccolo's words, Tiantian sweated profusely and said, This may be the gods of destruction in Legendary. Lord Beerus. Piccolo's expression changed drastically. You mean Beerus, the gods of destruction who is in charge of the end of all things in the universe? That's right. He is the controller of all life in this universe. He wants to destroy which planet he wants to do entirely on his own will. Once he gets angry, our Earth will be over. That's over. Beerus is clearly pissed. Just a few rounds. Majin Buu, who once made everyone helpless, has been completely defeated. Beerus didn't even move his eyelids, and easily blocked Majin Buu's thousands of attacks and energy cannons with one finger, but unfortunately, these attacks had no effect on Beerus. Majin Buu's so-called immortal defense was directly pierced by Beerus, and even the self-healing ability disappeared. Slap. Holding the wounded Majin Buu in one hand, Beerus slowly landed on the deck from the sky, throwing the dead dog like Majin Buu in front of everyone. I ask one last time, where is the strongest warrior on Earth? The purpose of Beerus's trip was to meet the enemy in his dream. After a long circle, these people obviously did not meet his requirements. At this moment, Boomer came up and slapped Beerus across the face. Snapped. You made my birthday party like this, I can't spare you. This crisp slap sound made everyone stunned. What followed was extreme panic. God. This crazy woman, what did she do just now? Seeing this scene, Vegeta burst into tears. You hit me just now. Beerus is not an easy character to relate to. As the highest gods of destruction in the universe, he was slapped by an Earth woman. Even Angel Whis on the side widened his eyes and covered his mouth with a look of disbelief. Are these Earthlings so bold? How dare you offend the gods of destruction? Beerus turned his head slowly, his eyes were indifferent and murderous. I saw him waving his long tail and slapping Bulma directly. You know, Bulma is just a common human woman, and she can't resist Beerus's attack at all. If she is whipped by his tail, she will be evaporated into dust in an instant. No. Seeing Beerus attacking his woman, Vegeta let out a yelp, and rushed towards this side with all his strength. At this time, Beerus's tail was caught by a hand. I said, why do you kobolds always do this? You come first, you know. I came here specifically to find this woman. An unhappy voice came from behind Beerus. Everyone saw that it turned out that Chi Yu, the great demon king, had appeared, and they all breathed a sigh of relief. Bulma was only excited for a while, thinking of her behavior just now. She felt terrified in her heart. This is a strong man that even Majin Buu can defeat. Fortunately, Chi Yu stepped forward at this time and helped him stop Beerus. Chi Yu glanced at Vegeta and said, my wife dared not stand up even after being beaten. Tragic Tower, you're going back as well. Don't call me Tragedy Tower. And Beerus, I challenge you. Seeing that Bulma was under attack, Vegeta couldn't take it any longer, and turned into a Super Saiyan and rushed towards Beerus. As a Saiyan prince, Vegeta has great self-esteem. Just now he almost couldn't even protect his own woman, which made him extremely annoyed, so he shot at Beerus recklessly. His determination is commendable, but the result is the same. Chi Yu almost didn't need to watch his fight with Beerus, because Vegeta was bound to lose. Bulma, is there any black technology in your home that can make my hair grow? Chi Yu is too lazy to care what Beerus is doing on Earth. For him, the most important thing is to restore his handsome hair. Black technology. Do you want a hair transplant? Bulma carefully looked at Chi Yu's eyes, and then recognized the visitor. You are the big bald demon king Chi Yu. Then what's the matter with the head on your head? Chi Yu whispered, it's just a wig, it's just a wig. I really don't want to be bald. My hair can't even be used by Shenron. Now I can only rely on high technology. Just halfway through Chi Yu's speech, a gust of wind blew past, and the gust of wind formed by the battle between Beerus and Vegeta roared towards everyone. Call! The strong wind instantly tore off Chi Yu's wig, revealing that shiny bald head. Chi Yu's complexion instantly darkened. Asshole! How dare you take off my wig? Chi Yu's voice was like a gust of wind, roughly tearing open the sea level and setting off huge waves. Before everyone could react, a figure appeared below Beerus and grabbed his leg. Beerus only felt a huge force coming from his legs, and the sight in front of him began to spin. The hand that appeared suddenly dragged him up, and slammed it downwards fiercely. Boom! A huge depression appeared on the sea, and Beerus pierced through the sea like a missile, rushing towards the deep seabed. Everyone was dumbfounded. Whis, who was still eating ice cream, even dropped his fork, and didn't know how to describe what just happened. Chi Yu stepped on the void with both feet, trembling with anger. At this time, the sea surface surged again, and Beerus's figure broke through the sea water and appeared in the sky again. At this moment, Beerus had a look of surprise on his face. Interesting, you are really bald. Beerus said, it seems that my dream is not wrong. It is predicted that there is a bald earthling in the dream who can compete with me. It seems to be you. Chi Yu snorted coldly, although I didn't use much force, you are still the first guy to take my blow without getting hurt. Even if your strength is increased tenfold, the result will be the same. Beerus sneered, as gods of destruction, killing and destroying is Beerus's nature. With an opponent to contend with, Beerus is absolutely impossible to let go, otherwise he would not have traveled across the entire universe to find a warrior to fight with him. The voice fell. Whoosh! Beerus's figure suddenly disappeared, and in the next second he had appeared in front of Chi Yu. This blow is for you. Mortal! Beerus raised his right leg high and kicked Chi Yu's abdomen fiercely. A dazzling shock wave exploded centered on the two of them. This powerful energy radiation directly overturned everyone present, and no one could stand and watch the battle. After Chi Yu was hit by Beerus, his whole body flew upside down like a cannonball. Rumble! A huge crater was blasted out of the sea water, and Chi Yu's whole body collapsed into the sea level, setting off waves tens of meters high. Chi Yu suffered a blow from Beerus, but walked out of the sea slowly like a normal person. Aren't you the gods of destruction? You actually launched a surprise attack. Unfortunately, this little power can't help me at all. Chi Yu folded his hands and said expressionlessly. Beerus's attack just now was just to tickle him. HMPH, you are the first person who dared to talk to me like that. Are you ready to accept the devastating attack of gods of destruction? Beerus was ridiculed by Chi Yu, veins popped out on his forehead, and his mouth opened even more, revealing two fangs in his mouth. Chi Yu mocked disdainfully, Kobold, just come on, I'm not afraid of you, be careful I'll beat you into a stupid dog. How dare you speak rudely to me? Beerus gritted his teeth angrily. He felt that his status as gods of destruction had been seriously challenged. If even a human from Earth in his own universe took care of others, what would other gods of destruction think of him in the future? Go to hell! Beerus roared angrily, and a drop of black luminous water appeared on his fingertips, shooting towards Chi Yu. Seeing this scene, Angel Whis shook his head pityingly. The Earth is about to end, Master Beerus is completely angry, and he used the power of destruction in the first place. Oh, it's such a pity, the delicious food on this planet, it's so delicious. After speaking, Angel Whis walked to other food stalls, taking advantage of the last few seconds when the Earth was still there, to enjoy other food. Whoosh! Almost instantly, that seemingly inconspicuous drop of black came to Chi Yu. This drop of water possessed extremely powerful destructive power and could destroy everything in the world. It can be said that there is nothing in this universe that Beerus cannot destroy. As for Chi Yu, he could only watch helplessly as the drop of water containing the inexhaustible destructive power of gods of destruction exploded on his body. Rumble! There was an earth-shattering explosion. Any corner of the entire Earth is illuminated like daytime, with dazzling rays of light, and the Earth seems to be transformed into the sun. Chi Yu's body is the source of that immense light. His bald head reflected a lot of light, like a light bulb in the dark, it looked extremely bright. This destructive force lasted for half a minute. All the Dragon Ball warriors were stunned and speechless. They all hid together and watched the battle between Chi-Yu and Chi-Yu from a distance, not daring to intervene in the slightest. This level of battle is simply not accessible to ordinary people, even Son Gohan and Vegeta who are Super Saiyans are the same. But Beerus is too strong, no wonder even Kakarot is no match for him. I can't even stop him. In the corner, Vegeta was half kneeling on the ground, clutching his stomach, cold sweat dripping down his face like rain. The huge pain and injury made him unable to stand up. Chi-Yu won't die, right? That's gods of destruction. It's terrible. Although it's just a drop of black water, I feel that thing can easily destroy the earth. God, why does such a powerful monster appear every time, so I can only do it because of my will? The enemy is getting stronger and stronger, but we are standing still. There are too many monsters in this world. Piccolo, Kaitlin Tien Jinfen and others all laughed at themselves helplessly. However, half a day passed. The destructive power of Beerus erupted on Chi-Yu. After the bang, the perfect result was not as expected. Chi-Yu is still here. His bald head is still conspicuous. He seems like a normal person. How is this possible? How can this be? Seeing Chi-Yu who was unscathed, Beerus had a look of astonishment on his face. Although he didn't use his full strength for this blow, he used the power of destruction. Once this kind of power comes into contact with the attacked target, it can easily destroy everyone instantly. People who can block their own destructive power have never appeared in the entire universe. Chi-Yu twisted his neck, then looked at his shattered clothes and said to Beerus, "Puppy, you really pissed me off this time." Puppy. How dare someone call himself that? Court death. Beerus snorted coldly, and then launched an extremely swift attack. The figures of the two continued to flash in the sky. Every collision caused a violent shock, and the giant luxury cruise ship was tottering in the fierce wind. Keelan hugged the railing of the cruise ship tightly, and shouted, "The power of these two people is really terrifying, who will stop them? If things go on like this, the whole Earth will be affected by their power." Vegeta was also pressed on the deck by the turbulent airflow, unable to move. He wanted to watch the battle between the two, but he couldn't even open his eyes. Hateful. After seeing such power, Vegeta realized how naive he was in wanting to defeat Chi-Yu before. Originally, Vegeta thought that Chi-Yu's punch that killed him was his limit, but now it seems that Chi-Yu's strength is far more than that. The two hit the sky from the sea, and from the sky to space, like two extremely dazzling popular meteorites, all the way up. Due to the high speed of their flight, they rubbed against the air and produced two extremely spectacular wave cloud rolls, extending from the horizon to the sky. Countless residents on the Earth have seen this shocking scene. It's really spectacular. Chi-Yu and Beerus fought countless times in the sky, so fast that no one could react. This level of fighting has surpassed everyone's imagination. In the beginning, Chi-Yu, who didn't use his full strength, was actually crushed and beaten by Beerus. In order to verify where Chi-Yu's bottom line is, Beerus has been increasing his strength. One finger from the beginning turned into a hand. Then it became a combination of both hands. Now, Beerus not only uses his hands, but also his legs and his tail. Bang bang bang. Bang bang bang. In every battle in space, no sound can be made, but the intensity of the battle can be seen just from the huge and incomparable energy shock wave. Earthlings, you are really strong, much stronger than that Super Saiyan, and you can even resist my attack with nearly 80% of my strength. Beerus suddenly withdrew his hands and stood in the void, looking at Chi-Yu solemnly. I'm curious, how did you become so powerful? Did you worship another gods of destruction as your teacher, or through some special training method? Chi-Yu shook his head. None. Beerus. Oh. Then can you tell me? Are you like me, you were born to destroy other combat powers of divine grade, and you don't need to practice at all. After Beerus became gods of destruction, he would destroy planets all day except eating and sleeping, and he didn't need to practice at all. Because no one is his match. Seventh universe. No matter how powerful the master is, he is not as good as an ant in front of Beerus. He only needs to spend a little bit of destructive power to destroy everything. Such is the horror of gods of destruction. No, I have to practice every day. It's not like a gifted dog like you who only knows how to eat and sleep, and loses his temper when he wakes up. Chi-Yu curled his lips and mocked. Then how did you cultivate? Beerus was still very curious. Chi-Yu raised his head and said inscrutably, "Then you have to listen carefully. My daily training tasks can be called the most intensive in the world. This is a hellish training intensity." Beerus stood in awe. "First of all, I wake up every morning, meditate, read books, practice calligraphy and painting, and then do push-ups, marathon around the villa, squat jumps, sit-ups, and finally play games with headstands." Chi-Yu said a lot in one breath. Beerus was dumbfounded. "Is this what you practice every day?" Chi-Yu said with a serious face, "Of course, it's very hard. I have a full schedule every day. Do you think I'm like you, and I know that it hurts to sleep and eat every day?" Beerus, "I'll kill you with a knife." "Just kidding me, you're also called cultivation, you're not much better than me." "Okay, I really don't read books, Beerus, I've been doing these entertainment activities recently. Are you doing well?" Chi-Yu waved his hand. "Don't give me such a trick, you outsiders can feel how hard I exercise every day. Otherwise, why do you think my head is bald? It's because I practice too hard every day." Roll. Beerus was driven mad by Chi-Yu. He punched Chi-Yu again. Rumble. This punch was extremely powerful, and it sent out a terrifying energy shock wave, which instantly crossed endless space and blasted an asteroid behind Chi-Yu. Chi-Yu looked back. "The sparks are gone. You kobold know how to sabotage all day long, I'm going to beat you to death." Chi-Yu rushed towards Beerus, and the continuous common punches reached the speed of light. Beerus was unable to fight back, and his whole head was bruised and swollen by Chi-Yu. Rumble. The battle between the two caused a devastating energy storm in the solar system, and several asteroids were blown up by Chi-Yu and Beerus. Countless small meteorite fragments appeared in the starry sky, densely packed like raindrops, flying towards the Earth and the Moon at an extremely fast speed. Although these meteorite fragments are small in size, they hit the asteroid at an extremely fast speed, which is enough to cause catastrophe. Back then, an asteroid could have wiped out the dinosaurs on Earth. But now, there are thousands of meteorite fragments as huge as asteroids, and countless more small meteorites. These meteorites will be destroyed by violent friction in the Earth's atmosphere, and finally become small meteorite fragments and fall Earth. Some disappeared while still in outer space, turning into meteors. However, there are many huge meteorites that can completely penetrate the atmosphere and fall towards the Earth. And once this happens, the whole Earth will be destroyed. Countless lives will die as a result. Not even the Dragon Ball warriors are spared. On the Earth, Vegeta, who was being repaired by the gods every day, as well as Son Gohan, Piccolo and others looked up at the sky. Looking at the precarious meteorite fragments in the sky, their faces became extremely dignified. Vegeta said with an ugly face, "It was Chi-Yu and Beerus who caused the havoc. They destroyed several planets. There are too many meteorite fragments. If the gods let them all fall to the Earth will be destroyed without Beerus." Keelan wiped the cold sweat off his head. "Then what to do? Let's shoot together and wipe them out over the Earth." "Good idea, let's go together," Piccolo said, taking the lead in flying into the sky. Then, Vegeta, Son Gohan, Keelan, number 18, Goten Jr., Trunks Jr., and even Majin Buu were called out by Satan, and everyone protected the Earth together. At this moment, Son Goku, who was far away from King Kai, hurried back using instant transmission. "Hi everyone, I'm back." Son Goku appeared among the crowd and said with a smile. Hearing Son Goku's familiar voice, everyone turned their heads in surprise. "Goku, you're finally back," Krillin said excitedly. "With you here, our success rate in preventing this disaster is much greater. Let's split up and use Ki Blast to destroy these large meteorites." Good. It was too late for everyone to reminisce, but they were looking for their own goals. Swish. Son Goku was the fastest, appearing in front of a giant meteor in a split second, and then blasted the meteor with Kamehameha. Then, go to the next one. For these Dragon Ball warriors, each of them can easily destroy the Earth. Their combat effectiveness is at the planetary level, but they just cannot breathe in space. Nearly 10 people shot together. Rumble. 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 Earth-shattering explosions continued to be heard in the sky. That was the sound of meteorites being destroyed. Dragon Ball warriors sent out colorful Qigong cannons, and put on a beautiful fireworks show in the sky. Boomer, a very nervous woman, even cheered on the luxury cruise ship. "It's great, this birthday is the happiest I've ever had." And on the other side of the luxury cruise ship. At this moment, there were three small figures trembling in the corner. They are Pilaf, Xiaowu and Axiu, who have been tirelessly looking for the Dragon Ball for decades and still haven't given up. Pilaf has never given up his ambition to become the ruler of the world. Ever since he learned that the Dragon Ball can fulfill his wishes, he has been looking for the Dragon Ball for decades. But every time, it failed due to various accidents. There were even several times when he obviously got the Dragon Ball, and he missed his wish. Originally, they were from the same era as Son Goku. But now it looks like three children. This is because at one point, they used the Dragon Ball to turn into a child, and this was before the Cell game. Pi, King Pilaf, those guys have already gone to the sky to destroy the meteorite, should we help? Xiaowu, who turned into a little girl, said. Among the three, she is the only girl. Help me. While these perverts have no time to take care of us, I can go to the ship to steal Dragon Balls. My Dragon Ball radar has detected that those Dragon Balls are on this ship. Pilaf clenched his small fists, triumphantly said. Great. After searching for so many years, are we finally going to realize our wish? Ashio, who looks like a kobold, burst into tears with excitement. Yeah, we can finally fulfill our long-cherished wish. The three of them burst into tears immediately. No one would argue that they are the worst villain trio in Dragon Ball. Outer space. Finally, the fighting stopped. Beerus stood tall in the sky, his breathing began to become a little short. Because of the dream, he had already overestimated Chiyu's strength. But he never expected that this bald head would force him to use 8 levels of strength, and he still hadn't gained the upper hand. Chiyu didn't know when he closed his eyes, and a strange feeling was brewing in his heart. What's this? It seems very familiar, yet very far away. By the way, this is pain, a pain I haven't experienced for a long time. Chiyu looked at his chest, it was a bruise from Beerus punching him. With his invincible constitution, he was injured by Beerus, which shows how terrifying this Gods of Destruction is. And Beerus is much worse than him. The dignified Gods of Destruction Beerus, his whole head is swollen like a pig's head, not to mention how embarrassing he is. Chiyu was beaten by Beerus. At this moment, he experienced a new kind of joy, which belonged to heroes and warriors. The heart is beating violently, and the blood flow is accelerating. Chiyu stretched out his hand, and his 5 fingers snapped together like iron tongs. Roar! The air seemed to be crushed by this grip, and then he raised his head to the sky and roared. Hey, are you going to use your full strength? Beerus laughed out loud. As the most powerful warrior, he understood Chiyu's feelings immediately. Don't be shy, use all your strength, I want to see if you can make me, Gods of Destruction, surrender. Boom, boom, boom. Chiyu's heart beat faster. On the right arm that was clenched into a fist, red blood vessels protruded, wriggling crazily like an earthworm. His body bent into a bow, and then his feet trampled on the void, turning into a shooting star and flying towards Beerus. Beerus yelled up to the sky, raised his aura to the extreme, and also greeted Chiyu. In a trance, a hallucination appeared in front of Chiyu's eyes. He saw himself in a barren, dead world, wrapped in chains. In the center of this world sits a bald man. He wears cheap yellow tights with a white cape behind him. Who are you? The man turned his head, and it turned out to be a face exactly like his own. I'm One Punch Man Saitama. Chiyu, what is this place? Saitama, this is the world of One Punch Man, but it has been destroyed by me. Chiyu, the One Punch Man I know is a hero, and he will never do anything to destroy the world. Saitama laughed. That's because you haven't tasted enough loneliness. After a long time, you will become a lunatic who destroys everything like me. I entrust my power to you, let you take it to a world strong enough to find enemies strong enough to fight. Chiyu was a little puzzled. What are the chains on my body? Saitama said, these are your subconscious minds. You are aware of your overpowering power, so you never dare to use your full strength. You imprison these powers and become these chains. But now, you should no longer need them. Gone. With a click, a chain snapped and fell to the ground with a heavy sound. Chiyu, are you still alive? Saitama, I'm dead, and you will be the master of this body from now on. Now, Please release its power. There was another crisp sound, and the second chain broke. Chi-Yu could feel that a vast torrent was awakening in his body, it was his chi. After awakening chi, Chi-Yu has never dared to use this power, but carefully sealed it in his body, and only used it a little when he destroyed Majin Buu last time. Now, this energy that is countless times vaster than the universe is alive. There is only a trace, which is less than 1/10,000th, but it has far exceeded anyone's experience. Chi-Yu rushed towards Beerus in the sky, and white flames burst out from his body, covering the sky and covering the sun in the sky. What's even more frightening is that it is still getting bigger and stronger. One Punch Kill Series. Super Serious Punch. Chi-Yu raised his fist and punched Beerus. That's the punch. The punch that Beerus saw in his dream, the punch that destroyed everything. The power contained in that fist is enough to completely evaporate the entire universe, or even countless universes, in an instant. Beerus forgot to resist. In the face of such vast power, any resistance is a joke. Even as a god, he can only lower his proud head and maintain his due humility. Die. 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 Death was approaching, and before that fist arrived, the overwhelming flames had already arrived. Beerus's body was like a bumpy boat on the sea amidst the flames, it might be destroyed and swallowed at any time. What kind of monster did I release? Countless universes, countless creatures, everything will be wiped out by this punch. It was too late for Beerus to regret, under such strength, it was too late for him to resist. At the critical moment, Beerus actually closed his eyes for the first time because of fear. Just when he thought he was going to be destroyed by Chi-Yu's punch, Chi-Yu stopped suddenly. The fist was less than a centimeter from his nose. Really? I accidentally used too much force. Chi-Yu withdrew his fist and smiled faintly. Oh ho ho. Fortunately, I caught up. I thought Mr. Chi-Yu would really make a move. Our Lord Beerus can't be killed casually. Zeno will be angry. At some point, Angel Whis appeared beside him, looking at Chi-Yu with a hint of fear. As Beerus's servant and teacher, Angel Whis certainly couldn't let the gods of destruction he cultivated by himself be killed by Chi-Yu. So after feeling Chi-Yu's terrifying aura, he immediately came to Beerus's side, ready to stop Chi-Yu. In the super setting of Dragon Ball, Angel Whis is more powerful than gods of destruction Beerus, and the combat points are as high as 15 Jing. And Beerus's combat points are only 10. As for Super Saiyan God's red-haired son Goku, there's only 6. Whis is much stronger than Beerus, and he rarely takes shots in the original series, so no one knows how strong he is. Even if Chi-Yu released a few chains at this moment, he wouldn't dare to say that he could be destroyed. Unless he is really desperate and breaks through all shackles. But in that case, Chi-Yu might become a lunatic who only knows how to fight. What he needs at this stage is to keep fighting against the strong to unlock stronger power step by step. It seems that my prophecy dream did not go wrong. The person who defeated me is you. Beerus opened his eyes and said in a solemn tone. Your strength is not bad, Master Beerus. Chi-Yu touched his bald head and smiled. If it weren't for your oppression, I wouldn't be able to break through the limit, and I can feel that you still have some strength left. You should have just now didn't use it. If you use that trick, I should be the loser. The move Chi-Yu refers to is naturally the Ultra Instinct that every destroyer Shendu will comprehend. Beerus has learned Ultra Instinct, but because of his lazy nature, he has basically never practiced Ultra Instinct since he was born, so he only practiced Ultra Instinct for more than half, and has not reached the level of perfection. HMPH. Of course, I was just testing you. I am the gods of destruction, how could I lose so easily? When Beerus heard Chi-Yu praise him for his strength, he felt very happy, and the embarrassing scene of being beaten by Chi-Yu just now was forgotten by him. He is a guy with a strong vanity, and he can't stand others' compliments the most. There is a saying on Earth, that is, if you don't fight, you don't know each other. We have a fight, and we know each other. I won't call you a kobold in the future. Chi-Yu waved his hand, showing a friendly attitude. HMPH. I told you, I'm not a kobold. You bald head. I'm so pissed off. Beerus was flattered at first, but Chi-Yu's kobold aroused his anger again. If Whis hadn't stopped him, and Chi-Yu was not easy to mess with, he would have destroyed this nasty bald boy long ago. Okay, no, you're not a kobold, okay. Chiyu quickly changed his words when he saw Beerus becoming angry, and then walked over with a mean smile and asked, "By the way, Mr. Beerus, are you a dog? Or a cat?" Beerus: "I don't even know what kind of animal I am." Chiyu: "A storm came to an end. The Earth crisis is resolved, Beerus has found the powerful warrior who can fight him, and the task has been completed. Next, it is natural to taste the delicacies of the Earth. Compared with fighting, food is obviously more attractive to Beerus and Whis. No, the two guests who came from afar have already attracted all the attention of the food stalls on the luxury cruise ship Boomer, and they have become super foodies. Wow, what is this? It looks delicious. Oh ho ho ho, you call this sushi? It's really good. I like the eel flavor the most. Takoyaki, where's the takoyaki? Sashimi, Vegeta, serve me the sashimi. And the tonkatsu noodles, bring me a big bowl, or I'll destroy the Earth." Beerus and Whis were like starving ghosts who hadn't eaten for thousands of years. Their mouths didn't stop for a moment, and they kept pouring all kinds of exquisite delicacies in front of them into their mouths. Of these people, Vegeta is the busiest. In order to please Beerus, he turned into a chef and served all kinds of delicacies non-stop. He usually acts like an uncle at home, but now he is like a waiter in the shop, rushing in and out, flattering Beerus in all kinds of ways. The other Dragon Ball warriors were dumbfounded. Is this person with an apron tied like a cook, or that noble and glamorous Vegeta? Only Son Goku has the biggest heart. He is one of the foodies. Seeing so many delicacies, he has long put everything aside and buried himself in eating and drinking. Chiyu, on the other hand, had no intention of eating and drinking. He found Bulma alone, asking if she could help him get his hair back. "Hey, since you saved the Earth and me once, Great Demon King, I will help you research a hair restorer that can grow hair for free. You can come to my house to get it in a few days." Bulma replied confidently. Really? Knowing that Bulma could help him, Chiyu became excited. Bulma is a genius scientist, it must be no problem if she makes a move. Bulma was full of confidence. "Of course, don't worry." "Great, I'll go home and wait for your good news, then I'll go first, I'm a little sleepy after the fight." After Chiyu finished speaking, he couldn't wait to leave. Whoosh! Watching Chiyu's figure soar into the sky and disappear on the luxury cruise ship. Everyone's eyes are a little complicated. Earth's mightiest warrior. This is an insurmountable gully above their heads for suppression. In the past, the #1 master on Earth has always been Son Goku. Even if he wasn't a few times, it was born in Super Saiyan. Anyway, the masters of the Earth are all taken over by Super Saiyan. Others are destined to be supporting roles. Even Keelan, the strongest human being on Earth, has a growing gap with Son Goku and others, and finally disappears from everyone. But now, Chiyu has risen strongly and slapped everyone in the face, letting them know that Super Saiyan is not the most powerful fighting race in the universe, and there are people on Earth. Pure Earthlings, constantly breaking the limit and surpassing the Earthlings themselves. HMPH. I'm the Prince Super Saiyan of the strongest fighting race in the universe. I can't let this Earthling ride on my head and shit and piss. I want to become stronger and stronger than everyone else. Wearing an apron and holding a plate of delicious food, Vegeta watched Chiyu's leaving back, feeling extremely fanatical fighting belief and unwillingness in his heart. In the past, he was surpassed by the juniors from time to time, and he was still the second child in 1,000 years. As a result, now, he can't even be the second child of 1,000 years. Chiyu, Beerus, the mysterious angel Whis, Son Goku. 4 mountains are pressing on him, how can the proud Vegeta bear it? Be strong or give me death. Vegeta's self-esteem does not allow him to be so decadent and weak. He wants to become stronger and use all means to reduce the distance between him and Son Goku and others. And now he's targeting Beerus. Vegeta, what are you still doing there? Serve me the tempura you mentioned. Not far away, Beerus called impatiently. Come on, Lord Beerus, this is the most delicious food on Earth, you won't be disappointed after trying it. Vegeta came back to his senses, and hurriedly ran towards Beerus, showing a flattering smile on his face. In the past few days, Chiyu has been squatting at home, forgetting to eat and sleep to transform her chi. But no matter how hard he tried, the effect was still not very good. He felt like a fool on the sea, trying to scoop the sea water to the shore with a cup, extremely stupid. According to this progress, I am afraid that in tens of thousands of years, I will still be standing still. Chi-Yu walked out of the practice room, took a bath in the luxurious large bathtub, and then came to the living room area. Master, you have figured it out. The Bulma family sent an invitation letter. Colonel Z. Roland came over and said. Chi-Yu accepted the invitation letter, and saw that it said, "The birthday party a few days ago was ruined by Beerus, so I am going to host it again, welcome to the Bald Devil." A Q version of Bulma's head is also drawn on the signature. Seeing the date above, Chi-Yu frowned and said, "Is it today?" The servant said, "Master, are you going?" Chi-Yu thought for a while, and finally said, "Go. It just so happens that I want to ask Beerus about something. Bulma's birthday party has delicious food, and the kobold will definitely come. By the way, I can also ask own hair." Colonel Z. Roland said, "Go all the way." Chi-Yu nodded, then put his finger on his forehead, and disappeared in place with instant transmission. This is the instant transmission he learned from Son Goku. The price is that Son Goku was beaten up by Chi-Yu, he asked for it. He said he wanted to learn from a strong man like Chi-Yu, but he was knocked out by Chi-Yu. Because the previous yacht had been destroyed by Beerus, the wealthy Bulma bought a new one. In order to build a good relationship with Saitama, several people are discussing countermeasures. Keelan leaned close to Bulma's ear and whispered, "Bulma, are you sure this is really possible?" Bulma laughed and said, "This is definitely the best way. The Bald Devil should not have a girlfriend yet. And my sister Tazy is a beauty. Once the Bald Devil becomes my brother-in-law, I will see Beerus in the future. How dare that guy yell at me?" Keelan quickly covered Bulma's mouth and said, "Keep your voice down, if Beerus hears it, something bad will happen." In the original work, there are not many roles for ties. As Bulma's older sister, this blonde beauty is definitely the one who was born with a golden spoon in her mouth. Although she has a scientific talent beyond Bulma, Tazy did not choose to become a scientist like her parents. As an adult, Ties, who likes romance, has been adventuring all over the universe to experience life. She wrote a novel about her experiences. Unfortunately, her literary talent is obviously far from the scientific and technological talent. There is another reason why the novel can't sell well: her protagonist is too frustrated. Most of Ties's adventures are done with Jake, the recurring, self-proclaimed elite groupie universe detective in Dragon Ball. So naturally, Jacques became the main object of description of Tazy. "What are you two whispering about?" Tazy came up with a fruit plate. The appearance of Tazy is closer to that of her mother, Mrs. Bliss, with more European ancestry, so she is not as small and exquisite as Bulma. After she became an adult, Tazy cut off her long hair, but her hot figure made her look like a capable big sister without any neutral style. "No. Nothing." Keelan waved his hands again and again, but Bulma put his arms around Tazy's neck and whispered in her ear, "Sister, I said you were too old, you should get married." Tazy was taken aback and said, "Why did you mention this all of a sudden?" Bulma said, "I have 2 children, how long do you want to wander around in the universe? You should get married quickly and come back to help me take care of the family business." Speaking of this, Tazy couldn't help but sighed, "Do you think I don't want to? This kind of thing can't be rushed. Besides, I'm surrounded by aliens, which are completely different species from me." Bulma and Klin looked at each other, and Klin immediately understood. "Speaking of which, I know a very powerful person, and as far as I know, he doesn't have a girlfriend yet." As soon as Keelan finished speaking, a sudden figure appeared on the deck. Chi-Yu looked around, and then walked towards Bulma. Keelan whispered, "Yes, that's him, the big bald devil Chi-Yu." Tazy gave Saitama a lot of attention for a long while, then she said with a slight heart, "Although he is bald, he is indeed a handsome and heroic guy." Keelan said, "Not only is he a handsome guy, but he is also the #1 powerhouse in the universe." Universe first. Tazy probably also knows what kind of strong people are gathered around Bulma, and her good friend Jake is a loyal fan of Son Goku and others. After all, the Z Warriors have successively defeated many universe-level powerhouses including Frieza. If they all agree that this man is the #1 powerhouse in the universe, then they probably didn't run away. Tais worships heroes very much, otherwise she would not write novels about heroes. Hearing this, Tais was really moved. Are you familiar with him? As sisters who grew up together, Bulma immediately understood Taisy's thoughts. She touched Taisy's belly with her elbow obscenely and said, "Don't worry, it's on me, my younger sister. Has Beerus come? Did any of you see that kobold?" Chi Yu looked around. Logically speaking, as long as there is delicious food, there should be two foodies, Beerus and Whis. Bulma pulled his sister out from behind and said, "The two of them are at the food stand, by the way, the devil. Chi Yu, let me introduce you to mine. Why did you leave? I have something to do with Bruce." After all, Saitama walked towards the food stall without looking back. Bulma stomped her feet angrily. Really, obviously I was going to invite him to the party. Taisy covered her mouth and smiled coquettishly. This man is really interesting, I like him a little bit. Chi Yu searched around the food stalls on the cruise ship, and finally found the two Beerus who were eating and drinking. "Hey, Kobold, Broomhead, I have something to ask you." Puff. Beerus was eating delicious food happily, but Chi Yu's dog-headed voice spurted the food out of his mouth. "Baga, I told you not to call me a kobold, call me Lord Beerus." Beerus turned his head, and sure enough, he saw an annoying bald figure walking towards him. "Oh ho ho, it's Chi Yu-song, does he want to fight with Lord Beerus again?" Whis said with a smile while pinching the orchid and eating the pudding in his hand. "Beerus, I found that the chi in my body can't be controlled as I like. If I'm not careful, it will cause a catastrophe. If I can't control it one day, it's easy to accidentally destroy the earth. What can you do?" Chi Yu asked carelessly. "Oh." Beerus and Whis glanced at each other, and both saw a trace of teasing and complacency in each other's eyes. "So you're begging me? The bald-headed demon king has problems he can't solve, ha ha ha." Beerus teased. "HMPH. Everyone has weaknesses. What's the point? Just say whether you can help me or not. If you don't, I'll beat you up again." Hey. Is this your attitude when talking to gods of destruction? Be careful that I will destroy you when I get angry. TCH, if I hadn't beaten you up last time, I would have almost believed it. Smelly bald, I'm going to beat you to death now. Kobold, do you have the ability to say it again? Smelly bald, stinky bald. The two scolded each other, so close to face. Angel Whis held his forehead helplessly. Why do these two guys look like children? Fighting and fighting. Beerus suddenly said with a serious face, "This problem is actually very easy to solve. Whis can help you solve it. He is my teacher and is best at teaching students. This time, we are here for you." Oh. Chi Yu was taken aback for a moment, then glanced at Angel Whis, and then nodded. "Whis is really strong. I can feel that he is much stronger than you, but you are really not for the food of the earth. Did you just come here?" Ahem. Beerus blushed slightly, and then said seriously, "The chi in your body is too large. If you are not careful, it will cause irreversible consequences, so Whis and I want to help you control it." Quote. Hearing what Beerus said, Chi Yu's eyes lit up. That endless chi is like a huge time bomb. Once he loses control, it may cause irreparable consequences. So Chi Yu said, "Can you help me control my chi?" Whis was Beerus's teacher, and he was the real authority on this kind of thing. It would be great if Whis taught him how to control his chi as he wished. Beerus glanced at Whis. Whis covered his mouth with a smile and said, "Oh ho ho ho. Mr. Chi Yu, you are too angry, and the conventional method of cultivation will not have any effect at all. The only way I can think of is to make you gods of destruction." Chi Yu was taken aback. Gods of destruction. Beerus said, "Generally speaking, there will be a backup gods of destruction in a universe, but our seventh universe is temporarily vacant. I hope you can be the backup gods of destruction." Chi Yu said, "I don't want to be gods of destruction. The life of gods of destruction is bound to Supreme Kai. God knows when that weak Supreme Kai will be killed." Whis said, "Don't worry, you, the substitute gods of destruction, don't need to sign a contract with the king of the realm, their lives will not threaten you." Chi Yu was a little puzzled. Why do I have to become gods of destruction to control my own energy? It's like this. Whis continued to explain to Chi Yu. Generally speaking, there is only one chi in a person's body, but gods of destruction are different, they generally have two chi. One is the energy of the common, and the other is the destructive energy that can annihilate everything. The chi in Chi Yu's body was too large, so he could only transform it into destructive energy little by little, and finally bring it under control. This is destined to be a long process that will take countless years, but it is also the only way. Beerus said, "If you don't want to blow up the whole universe to ashes with one punch one day and become a real lonely person, then you should accept it. This can make you stronger, and at the same time, it can also let you learn to control, not as for the trouble. And now you are only made to be the backup gods of destruction, not for you to take over immediately." Chi Yu thought for a while, and finally agreed to Beerus's proposal. "It seems to be good, but I'm just an agent of gods of destruction, don't bother me with nothing, I hate trouble the most." "No problem, in fact, the work of gods of destruction is also very simple." Hearing Chi Yu agree, both Beerus and Whis breathed a sigh of relief. While Beerus's calling is destruction, it's just his job. Also, as a member of this universe, Beerus does not want the entire universe to be destroyed because of Chi Yu's loss of control. Moreover, if Chi Yu becomes the gods of destruction, then the overall strength of their universe will be even stronger, and they will have the confidence to meet the gods of destruction of other universes at that time. Beerus stretched out his finger and injected a mass of purple-black's destructive energy into Chi Yu's body. "This is the seed of destructive power. From today onwards, you are my successor. Tomorrow Beerus will come to pick you up to practice on my planet. At that time, I will teach you how to transform your chi." "Okay, but the successor is too ugly. It's called the Great Gods of Destruction, Lord Chi Yu." The next day, Whis arrived as promised and took him to the planet Gods of Destruction. In addition to himself, Vegeta and Son Goku are also here, and the two are practicing under the guidance of Whis. According to the original plot, Goku can almost become a Super Saiyan Blue God. Seeing Chi Yu's approach, both of them were terrified. Apparently Chi Yu's punch to Beerus had left a deep impression on both of them. "Light, the bald-headed Demon King, why are you here?" Vegeta's expression changed. "Can you give me a better nickname?" "Forget it." Chi Yu shook his head, not planning to get entangled in this issue, and went to Beerus's bedroom with Whis. It was rare for Beerus not to sleep, and had been waiting for him here early in the morning. "Are you ready? Let's get started." Chi Yu sat down in front of Beerus, then nodded. Then, Beerus began to teach Chi Yu the method of transforming energy. This kind of method is the unique secret method of gods of destruction. Even Whis does not know it, it is only passed on by word of mouth from old and new gods of destruction. Because the seeds of energy destruction had already been planted in the body, Chi Yu quickly mastered this method. Beerus said, "You don't need to be like those two guys outside, you are already strong enough in terms of energy and body. As long as you concentrate on transforming energy, you will soon surpass me." "Nonsense, I, Chi Yu, am a genius, much smarter than you." Beerus. Whis took him to a secluded room and let him practice on his own. In less than half a day, a black sun appeared on the surface of the planet Gods of Destruction. Whis couldn't help sighing, "It's really scary. Chi Yu has already surpassed you, Mr. Beerus, when he purified the destructive energy for the first time." Beerus put his hands behind his back and said, "But compared to his boundless chi, this is nothing at all. This guy still has a long way to go. Chi Yu's progress seems to be very fast. But it is not. From Chi Yu's perspective, the chi in his body is like an endless sea, while he holds a spoon and tries hard to scoop the seawater into his bowl." Half a month later, Chi Yu's destructive energy was more than 10 times that of Beerus, but Wang Yang still had no end in sight. As Beerus said, "This is a huge project that will take endless years to complete." Whis said, "Is it worth it, Master Beerus? You have cultivated yourself an extremely powerful opponent. With his progress speed, he will soon surpass you." Beerus said, He, this is interesting, isn't it? Our 7th universe's overall warrior strength level is weaker than other universes. I have a hunch that if we don't make any changes, our universe may be wiped out by Xeno woolen cloth." After speaking, Beerus looked deep into the universe. There is a huge and magnificent palace there, at the very top of the universe, that's where Xeno lives. Just when the Dragon Ball warriors were practicing hard. In the dark universe Starry Sky, a major event also happened. On a broken universe spaceship, there are several universe people standing. The clothes they wear are exactly the same as the members of the Frieza Legion during the invasion of the planet Namek. That's right, they are the Legion ruled by Frieza, the first king of the universe. Frieza, arguably one of the most famous villains in the Dragon Ball series, has a particularly strong reputation and is the first and scariest enemy Son Goku has ever encountered. Frieza is very powerful both in terms of strength and influence, and is a big boss in the universe. He uses his eyes to judge things and can survive in a vacuum. Claiming to be the strongest universe emperor, Frieza also conquered a large number of men, occupied planets rich in resources, and used alien planet technology to manufacture universe spaceships for military aggression, and the selected troops were all elite warriors. In the Namek Ball, due to killing Kling, Goku was extremely angry and awakened to become a Super Saiyan. After a fierce battle, he was finally defeated by Goku. When he was on the verge of death, he was rescued by his father, and was transformed into a mechanical Frieza by his father to attack the Earth, and his strength was greatly improved. As a result, he had just arrived on Earth, and was killed by the Big Trunks from the future before the pretend started. Since then, Frieza has permanently withdrawn from the villain stage. But what the Dragon Ball warriors didn't expect was that although Frieza died, his Frieza Legion was not completely disbanded. At this time, the leader of the universe spaceship flying fast in the universe is none other than Sorby, the remnant leader of the Frieza Legion under his command. And advanced warrior Tagma, which is no less than Dodoria and Sabo back then. Rumble. Outside the dark starry sky, several Wiz Universe spacecraft exploded. Lord Solby, the 1st and 2nd brigades of our army have been destroyed by the rebels, and the 3rd brigade has lost half of its warriors, which is a heavy loss. A lower-level warrior of the Legion came to the control room and said to Solby, the temporary leader of the Frieza Legion. "What? We have lost 60% of our troops." Thorby clenched his fists angrily, and walked to the window of the universe spaceship with his hands behind his back. Looking at the starry sky outside the window, after a while, Solby could only say helplessly, "The matter has come to this, we have no other choice but to revive King Frieza." Tagma and another Tauren warrior heard Solby's words, and they all shuddered. Resurrection. King Frieza. But, even if King Frieza is resurrected, can he turn the tide of the battle by himself? Taguma asked with some doubts. He joined the Frieza Legion later. Although he has always been famous for the Universe Emperor Frieza, he has never met Frieza himself after all. Advanced warriors all have their own arrogance, because it's normal for Taguma to have such a contemptuous tone. "Taguma, you are too stupid, and you underestimate King Frieza too much." Sorby turned around and looked at him with hatred. He used absolute power to control most of the universe. His horror is beyond the comprehension of an advanced warrior like you. Back then, countless planets were afraid of King Frieza's reputation. If he can be resurrected, our army will definitely be able to make a comeback and regain control of most of the planets in the river system that were taken away by the rebels. When Taguma heard Sorby describe Frieza's horror back then, there was a trace of cold sweat on his forehead. Then Lord Sorby, how should we revive King Frieza? I heard that he has been smashed to pieces and died a long time ago. This is our purpose. Sorby walked to the console, clicked a button, and projected a holographic projection, which showed the Earth and what happened on the planet Namek before. King Frieza went to the Namek Ball to look for the kind of beads that can fulfill people's wishes, but he failed. Later, he went to a planet called Earth. There are also beads that can fulfill people's wishes on that planet, but King Frieza never came back, he died on Earth. Our trip this time is to go to the Earth to find the beads that can fulfill people's wishes, resurrect King Frieza, and let him lead Frieza's army again. Taguma continued, but my lord, can we really succeed? King Frieza was killed by the people on that planet. Sorby was very angry at Taguma's questioning. Are you doubting me? Do you have no confidence in me? Then let me ask you, who has maintained Frieza's army after the disappearance of King Frieza, led the army to attack retreat wave after wave of rebels? Yes, it's Sir Sorby. All members of Frieza's Legion in the control room hurriedly saluted. HMPH. Then don't doubt my judgment and strategy. As long as we follow my plan, we will be able to revive King Frieza. Yes. So, the last universe spacecraft of Frieza's Legion headed for the coordinates of the Earth, and they would be able to reach the Earth in a short time. It just so happens that the three most powerful warriors on Earth are currently on the planet of gods of destruction Beerus, and have no time to care about Earth. Sorby is definitely not the only one who came up with the idea of Dragon Ball. And the Pilaf trio. At this time, in a remote corner of the Earth, the three of Pilaf each held a Dragon Ball with tears in their eyes, and put them on a stone pier. And there are 4 other Dragon Balls shining on the pier. Great. We finally got the Dragon Ball together again. Woo, it's not easy, think about how many difficulties and obstacles we have encountered along the way. All the hard work has finally paid off. I, King Pilaf, have finally fulfilled my long-cherished wish, and the Earth will be mine immediately. Ha ha ha, I heard that the current Dragon Ball can grant 3 wishes, 1 for each of us. Marvelous. The trio held hands and danced happily around the Dragon Ball. To say that the 3 of Pilaf were really unlucky enough, last time they managed to sneak into Boomer's luxury cruise ship, but they encountered a big battle between Chi-Yu and Gods of Destruction Beerus. Although they knew that Dragon Ball was on a luxury cruise ship, they couldn't find a chance to kill him. In the end, Boomer and the others took out the Dragon Ball to repair the destroyed Mars. All 3 wishes were exhausted, and the Dragon Ball flew away again. The 3 of Pilaf wanted to cry but had no tears, so they had to wait patiently for another half a year, and finally got the Dragon Ball together. Ha ha ha, let's start making wishes, no one will come to grab the Dragon Ball now. Pilaf rubbed his hands excitedly, ready to cast a spell to summon Shenron. But at this moment, a voice came from behind them, "Sorry, the Dragon Ball is mine." Who? Pilaf turned around in surprise, and saw Solby and Taguma wearing special universe suits. "Who are you? You want to grab my Dragon Ball, but there is no door." Pilaf roared loudly. These Dragon Balls were found by him and his 2 companions, how could they be easily given to others? "If you don't hand it over, you will be killed, just like this." Sorby sneered, and a ray of energy suddenly appeared from his finger, instantly destroying a boulder behind the 3 of Pilaf into dust. Rumble. The boulder collapsed in an instant, kicking up a huge cloud of dust, and a strong gust of wind almost knocked the 3 of Pilaf to the ground. I'll give it. Don't kill us, spare me." After witnessing Solby's horror, Pilaf knelt down very spinelessly. "HMPH, you're smart." With his hands behind his back, Solb walked slowly to the pile of Dragon Balls, and said to Pilaf, "You come to summon Shenron." Yes. Pilaf hurriedly walked to the side of the Dragon Ball, and chanted his dream mantra with complicated eyes, "Come out, Shenron." Rumble. The 7 Dragon Balls instantly radiated a dazzling light. This light soared into the sky, covering the sky and covering the sun, and plunged the entire Earth into darkness. Then, Solby and Taguma saw a scene that shocked even them. A huge blue Shenron emerged from the clouds. "Say it, I can fulfill any wish for you. I'm going to resurrect King Frieza, is that okay?" Solby was also a little nervous at this time, he was afraid that Shenron would say no. Shenron was silent for a while. "It's not impossible, but Frieza's physical body has been destroyed. Only by keeping his physical body can I revive him. If there is no physical body, even if I recall his soul, it will be useless." After listening to Shenron's words, Solby's face was a bit ugly. "So it's like this, can't it work without a physical body? Your Shenron looks really useless." When Shenron heard it, he was slightly annoyed and said, "Pay attention to your tone of voice." At this time, Taguma interjected, "My lord, even if you recall King Frieza's minced meat, it's fine. With our latest cell regeneration technology and King Frieza's vigorous vitality, it should be able to be revived, right?" "That's right, why didn't I expect that? With Lord Frieza's terrifying vitality, he can definitely be resurrected." "Well, Shenron, hurry up and help me revive King Frieza." Solby clenched his fists and said excitedly. Shenron didn't respond because he was angry. "Okay, great Shenron, please revive King Frieza, thank you very much." Solby is a rare smart person in the Frieza Legion, and he still doesn't understand how to give in to Shenron. "HMPH, you're lucky this time, I don't have the same knowledge as ordinary people like you." After Shenron finished speaking, a divine light appeared in his eyes, and instantly summoned back Frieza's body that had been chopped into pieces by the big trunks. Clap clap. Solby saw a black hole suddenly appear in the sky, followed by a large group of corpse fragments falling from the sky. These are all Frieza's destroyed flesh. Ha ha ha. Great. Sorby and Taguma hurriedly collected the fragments of Frieza's body. And these fragments of Frieza's body were writhing and trembling on the ground, showing tenacious vitality, which was shocking. Solby picked up a fragment of Frieza, watched it twist in his palm, and his face showed ecstasy. Great, you are indeed King Frieza, with your strong vitality, you will be resurrected soon. The three of Pilaf looked at the two strange aliens and used Shenron to resurrect a bunch of corpse fragments, with fear on their faces. Especially the unlucky Pilaf. Frieza's eyes happened to fall in front of him, and when Pilaf curiously walked over to check, the eyes suddenly opened. He was startled and sat down on the ground. Wow, what the hell is this? Xiaowu and Asho hugged each other, almost crying in fright. You still have 2 wishes, tell them quickly. If it's something like resurrecting the recently deceased human beings on Earth, then 2 of them will be used at once. Shenron said impatiently. What, isn't Shenron only able to grant 1 wish at a time? Solby was a little puzzled and surprised. He could still realize 2 wishes, and he didn't know what wish to make for a while. And at this moment, Xiaowu and Asho seized the opportunity and quickly shouted at Shenron, Shenron, please give me 1 million yuan. Shenron, please give me the best ice cream in the world. Solby was dumbfounded. You 2 hateful earthlings, dare to defy my majesty. Unfortunately, by the time he reacted, it was already too late. I saw a wad of banknotes and a large box of exquisite ice cream suddenly dropped from the sky. Shenron, the freezer is included as a gift. Well, your wish has been fulfilled, I should go. After speaking, Shenron turned into 7 rays of light again and disappeared into the sky. It will take another half a year for them to return to their original state. Solby, I'm going to kill you humble ants. He was really angry, these little bugs dared to sabotage his plan, it was unforgivable to use up the last 2 chances to make a wish. Just when he was about to make a move, he forcibly killed the 3 of Pilaf. Taguma covered the 2 fresh-keeping barrels containing Frieza's body fragments and held them in his hand. Master Solby, let's return to the spaceship and revive Lord Frieza. After hearing this, Solby temporarily stopped in his tracks. HMPH, what Taguma said makes sense, the resurrection of King Frieza is the top priority. Luckily for you ants, I will let you go this time. After finishing speaking, Solby and Taguma returned to the small aircraft, disappeared into the sky in an instant, and returned to the mothership of the universe spaceship outside space, preparing to revive Frieza. Watching the 2 of Solby leave, Pilaf wept and sat on the ground in a daze. Woo. The Dragon Ball was snatched away again, and my wish came true again. I am so miserable. Don't be sad, boss, at least we are rich, right? This $1 million is enough for us to have a good meal. Axiu came over and patted Pilaf on the shoulder, and said comfortingly. Yes, boss, we still have the most delicious ice cream in the world. Xiaowu said with a smile while holding a large box of ice cream. HMPH. Why don't you 2 give me the chance to make a wish? What's the use of 1 million? Why don't you just ask for 100 million? Pilaf cried bitterly, very sad. Fortunately, he is also a submissive person. Under Xiaowu and Asho's comfort, the 3 regrouped, and while enjoying the ice cream, they planned to go to the city to have a good meal. At this time, on the spaceship Universe, Sorby, Taguma and the others stared nervously at the regeneration device in front of them. Fragments of Frieza's body were placed inside and restored using the latest high-tech. They are both anticipation and fear. Looking forward to King Frieza leading them to restore the glory of the Universe Emperor. Fear of Frieza's invincible terrorist strength, fear of killing his subordinates at the slightest disagreement, and his violent acts of destroying the planet. Boom. After a day and a night, the regeneration device finally stopped working, the glass cover was opened, and a wet figure walked out of it. This figure is very strong, and it is relatively short in stature compared with Son Goku. He has blood-red eyes, purple-black lips, 2 lines like blood tears under the eyes on his face, the purple shell on his body is bright, and most of his body is miserable white. He only has 3 toes on 1 foot, and he kept making a clicking sound when he walked out of the regeneration device. He also has a long tail in the shape of a monster lizard, which can be used as a weapon to attack and defend, as well as to prevent the enemy from attacking from behind. He is the Emperor of the Universe, Frieza. Ho 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 ho. I actually came back to life. Frieza stood next to the Universe ship, squeezed his hands, and felt a real touch. He is resurrected. Yes, Lord Frieza, we have worked so hard to come to Earth and use the Dragon Ball to revive you. Thorby said to Frieza respectfully. Oh, that's right, it's really hard work for you. Frieza showed an evil smile on his mouth. However, why didn't you bring me back to life until now? It should be that the situation of Frieza's army has been corrupted to the point of irreversibility, right? Hee, after all, I am dead, and those universe races and ambitious people will definitely not let this opportunity go. My lord, Sorby was sweating profusely. He never expected that Frieza would be so smart, guessing the truth of the matter in just an instant. HMPH, is my dad resurrected? Frieza gave Thorby a cold look. Facing this subordinate's careful thinking, how could he fail to see that Frieza is not only extremely powerful, but also has a frighteningly high IQ? Otherwise, how could he have suppressed most of the universe's territory by himself? I'm sorry, Mrs. Frieza, the opportunity to make a wish on the Dragon Ball has been exhausted, and your father can only wait for the next time. Solby said hastily, wiping off his sweat. He was afraid that Frieza would get upset and kill him. Then don't be resurrected, this old guy just tells me what to do, it's annoying. Frieza is extremely cold by nature, and has no concept of family affection at all. They are a race of frozen demons, their nature is so indifferent, they don't need family and friendship, even killing each other between brothers and father and son is just normal. Master Frieza, I heard that you are the most powerful person in the universe, why are you still dying? Taguma, who was silent on the side, suddenly stepped forward and said. He doesn't have much awe of the resurrected Frieza. Such provocative words. Sorby was sweating profusely, and quickly explained, Master Frieza, this is Taguma. His strength is no less than that of Dodoria back then. He is an advanced warrior. I have always admired your strength. There was an evil smile on the corner of Frieza's mouth. Oh. Comparable to Dodoria's advanced warrior, let me see how strong it is. After finishing speaking, a beam of energy shot out from between his fingers, piercing through Taguma's kneecap in an instant, and directly made him kneel down on one knee. It doesn't look like much. It seems that there is only a bunch of trash left in the Frieza Legion. You trash, what do I need you for? Frieza's tone became extremely ferocious. My lord, calm down. Everyone knelt down in horror, trembling from the pressure of Frieza's aura. HMPH. If it weren't for the fact that you are still useful to me, I would have eliminated you long ago. Frieza snorted coldly, but now, the most important thing for me is to practice for a while first, and I want to go back. The Earth has avenged me. Let's say, Son Goku's nasty Saiyans have caused indelible trauma to my personality, and I will kill them all to relieve my hatred. Frieza's expression was a little crazy. He will never forget what he suffered in hell. Those angels, rabbits, pandas and all kinds of dolls play drums and sing on the grassland full of flowers every day, and what he hears in his ears is laughter every day. This is real hell for Frieza. He would rather be killed 1,000 times than suffer such humiliation in hell. HMPH. You stinky shit, wait for me. The most evil emperor in the universe, Frieza, is back. Frieza smiled ferociously. According to my prediction, I can catch up to Son after only 4 months of practice. Goku them, even far beyond. You know, I, Frieza, have never cultivated since I was born. As long as I practice a little harder, my growth rate will skyrocket to the point where the entire universe is trembling. Even if they become Super Saiyan, they can't compare one of my fingers. Ha ha ha. Earthlings, Super Saiyan, Son Goku. Wait for your death. Frieza revived. Another huge crisis for the Earth is coming. As time goes by, an extremely evil breath is getting closer and closer. The Dragon Ball warriors on Earth all had bad feelings in their hearts. Thus, the call initiated by Piccolo and Krillin sent an alarm of crisis to the Dragon Ball warriors scattered all over the world. Everyone changed into battle uniforms, and all gathered on a wasteland near the sea. Even Master Roshi Wushin, who hadn't done anything for a long time, also came out. They're coming. As Piccolo's voice fell, everyone looked up at the sky and saw a familiar universe spaceship soaring into the sky. This is. Klin looked at the universe spaceship, and suddenly remembered a memory that terrified him many years ago. Even Son Gohan, who has become a scholar, married and had children, couldn't help but said, "It looks familiar to the spaceship, I seem to have seen it somewhere." Click. As the universe ship descends from the sky, the hatch opens automatically. A large group of universe warriors wearing the same battle suit as Vegeta rushed out of it. Headed by a frightening figure. Frieza. It turned out to be Frieza. How did this villain come back to life again? Didn't he have been beaten to ashes by Trunks long ago? Son Gohan had a deep impression on Frieza. When he was a child, he went to Namek with Krillin and the others, where he saw the horror of Frieza. If it wasn't for his father Son Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan at the last minute, not only Namek but even them would have been wiped out. Such an extremely evil villain was first beaten to death by his father Son Goku, and then killed by Trunks, who traveled from the future to the present. I originally thought that after so many years, the memory of Frieza in everyone's minds has gradually faded. But this time, seeing the revived Frieza again, his terrifying strength reappeared in everyone's minds. Of these people, the one who fears Frieza the most is Kling. He was pierced through the chest by Frieza, and his body was squeezed and exploded with one hand. It can be said that he was dead without a whole body. It was precisely because Goku saw his best friend Krillin died in front of him that he was completely angry and turned into Super Saiyan. Although Krillin was later resurrected with the Dragon Ball, his fear of Frieza has never been forgotten, but it has been suppressed in his heart. Now seeing the living Frieza appearing in front of him again, Krillin trembled all over. Crunch, crunch. His teeth were chattering constantly, and his whole body was frightened. Ho 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 ho, so many familiar faces, that Namek man with great potential, and this little bald head without a nose. Oh, isn't this Son Goku's child? He has grown so big, although so many years have passed, but I still remember your looks. Ha ha ha, tremble, despair, I, King Frieza, have returned, I am your nightmare. Seeing so many familiar enemies, Frieza naturally laughed almost crazy, because he will be able to take revenge soon. Fear. An incomparably terrifying aura erupted from Frieza, more evil than any devil. Just looking at him will make you feel fear from the bottom of your heart. This is something no other villain can do. In terms of the degree of evil, the so-called artificial humans, Cell, and Majin Buu do not necessarily have the horror of Frieza. Because his potential for growth is limitless, and most importantly, he is very smart and strategic. Someone gave Frieza a character summary. Evil in nature, vicious and violent, ruthless, emotional changes are very unstable, sometimes calm, and occasionally irritable. Because of his usual bully style and insidious tactics, he is known as the evil emperor of the universe. Scary, Frieza is stronger than ever. Cold sweat broke out on the foreheads of all Dragon Ball warriors. They actually saw the pressure Goku brought them from Frieza. Are you scared? Cowardly earthlings, if you are afraid, kneel down and submit to me, or I will torture you to death one by one, in front of Son Goku's Super Saiyan. Frieza enjoyed the look of terror on the faces of the Dragon Ball warriors. Behind him stood hundreds of universe warriors. The closest thing to him was Commander Solby, and Frieza's only confidant now, Taguma. Suddenly, Frieza seemed to think of something again. He looked up and looked around. By the way, where is Son Goku? Where did he go? Did he hide because he was afraid of my coming? Tell him to come out to see me, I will crush him to death with my own hands. I want to let him know what kind of Super Saiyan is not even an ant in my eyes. Piccolo forced himself not to be oppressed by Frieza's aura, and gritted his teeth. Goku is currently studying with a teacher in a distant place, and he will be back soon, and there is another person with him. You may know this person, that's Vegeta. He's also a Super Saiyan now, and his fighting power is on par with Goku. As long as they come back you're dead. Oh, wasn't that Vegeta kid killed by me? He even came back to life. You weaklings like ants probably only use that Dragon Ball to cheat. It's really sad, ha ha ha. Frieza was extremely arrogant, laugh it out. Then, his smile turned into a ferocious killing intent. Then I will catch you first and torture you day and night until the two of them come back. Finished. Frieza and Commander Solby commanded hundreds of universe warriors to besiege the crowd. These universe warriors have been tempered by Frieza for several months, and all of them are very strong. Coupled with the terrifying thug shot by Taguma, the Dragon Ball warriors fell into crisis for a while. In fact, their combat effectiveness has not been brought into play at all. Especially Klin, he was so overwhelmed by Frieza that he was almost scared to pee, his legs kept breaking, and he couldn't even stand upright. Facing the enemy's attack, he actually stood there motionless, foolishly allowing the other universe warriors to attack. In order to save him, Gohan, Piccolo and others suffered several waves of attacks, making them extremely embarrassed. It is also because Gohan has been too absorbed in studying these years, wasting his kung fu, his strength has not increased but retreated, and he has lost the strength of the Super 3. Just Taguma alone forced him into a panic. It can be said that now they are a group of rabble. Dragon Ball warriors are in a complete crisis. Gods of Destruction Star. After practicing for a year, Chi-Yu has already felt extremely boring. He is a person who can't sit still. After practicing patiently for so long, he has long since returned to his heart. After all, apart from Beerus and Whis, there isn't even a Birdman on Gods of Destruction, which is really boring. Therefore, Chi-Yu ended his penance and chose to leave. As soon as he walked out of the training room, Chi-Yu saw Beerus and Whis eating pizza under a big tree. These two guys are becoming more and more obsessed with the food of the earth. Especially Whis, who uses his unique ability to travel through the universe to and from Earth every once in a while, and packs a lot of food from Bulma back to the Gods of Destruction Star as rations. Whis, where's the pizza, is there any more? Beerus swallowed the last piece of delicious pizza, and impatiently urged Whis, he was the ugliest eater, and also the one who ate the most. And Whis stood aside, eating his portion of pizza in small bites gracefully. Hearing Beerus's urging voice, Whis looked at the pile of pizza boxes piled up in front of Beerus, couldn't help but rolled his eyes, and then said slowly, Master Beerus, you have eaten a whole 100 boxes of pizza, now I only have the last piece left in my hand, do you want it? Beerus saw the piece of pizza in Whis' hands, his throat moved, and then said impatiently, don't you still have a lot of stock in your scepter? Take them all out. No, Master Beerus, Goku and Vegeta are practicing in the scepter space, and my scepter has been taken. I don't care, I want to eat pizza. Beerus was like a child in front of eating, and he had to eat until he was full. Well, I really can't beat you, Master Beerus. Whis knew Beerus's character too well, but as Beerus's teacher and servant, Whis still doted on him as a student. He stretched out his hand, and the scepter automatically flew into his hand, then opened the space of the scepter, and poured out all the pizza inside, and then Son Goku and Vegeta fell out. Nani, where's my pizza? Beerus was stunned to see another pile of pizza boxes, and all the pizza stock had been eaten. Then he looked at Son Goku and Vegeta with a murderous look, it's you two brats who dare to eat the rations of this Gods of Destruction. Son Goku scratched the back of his head nervously, ha, Master Whis, I didn't expect that there are so many pizzas in your scepter, Vegeta and I almost thought we would starve to death in it, these pizzas are so good have eaten. Beerus. Hi, you're all here. Chi-Yu's appearance was silent, he could already perfectly control his breath, so no one noticed in advance. Demon King. Seeing Chi-Yu appear, Vegeta trembled all over, as if recalling some kind of horrible memory. Hey, Tower of Tragedy, your strength has improved very quickly, and you have already possessed the aura of divinity. It seems that you and Goku have already realized the way to break through the super race god. Chi-Yu just took a look at Vegeta, and he knew what his strength had reached. You, how do you know? Vegeta looked like he had seen a ghost. Over the past year, Vegeta and Son Goku have made rapid progress under the guidance of Whis. After nearly a year of hard training, Son Goku was the first to understand the way to advance to Super Saiyan God. He can already transform into the god of Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta is slightly slower, but also has the ability to transform into a Super Saiyan God. The fighting power of the two has greatly increased, and their self-confidence has also greatly inflated. Especially Vegeta, who thinks he has the ability to challenge Chi-Yu. As a result, he was knocked out by Chi-Yu's energy slap before he even crossed the gate of Chi-Yu's training room. They do not know. Chi-Yu has improved more this year than anyone else. Now he can perfectly control 1/10,000th of the chi in his body. Although his strength has not skyrocketed much, his control over himself has been greatly improved. More importantly, the source of gods of destruction in his body has surpassed Beerus by a large margin. In other words, Chi-Yu has become the most powerful gods of destruction in the 7th universe. Chi-Yu, it seems that you have already mastered the method of controlling Chi, even I didn't notice your appearance in advance. Beerus stood up from the recliner with a dignified expression on his face. Yes, I haven't noticed Mr. Chi-Yu either. It seems that Mr. Chi-Yu's realm has surpassed mine. Even Whis was surprised. No, I just mastered a little bit. Cultivation is too boring. I'm going to return to Earth. Chi-Yu waved his hand and said calmly. Yes, but if there is something related to gods of destruction, I hope you can come to the gods of destruction star to participate. Beerus made the only request. That's no problem. Chi-Yu smiled lightly. Teacher, we have to go back too. Son Goku and Vegeta couldn't help saying when they saw Chi-Yu said that he was going back to Earth. After all, they still have family members. They haven't seen each other for more than a year, and they miss them a little. HMPH, then let's go together. Anyway, my pizza is eaten by you. I want to go back to Earth with Whis to replenish some food. Beerus said with his hands behind his back. Great. Vegeta and Son Goku smiled at each other. But at this moment, in Whis' scepter light sphere, there was a sudden call. Whis, please tell Goku and Vegeta that something is wrong with Earth. Bulma's distress signal came from inside the light sphere. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and support my channel.